And also, you don't need to make binge drinkers feel bad because they'll do that to themselves, won't they? I mean, if I've had a little drinky, the next day, at least 3 or 4 times, at random moments through that day, I could be doing something like making a cup of tea. Suddenly I'll just go, What's the matter with you, Sean? I just remembered something last... The weird thing is, once you have one of those memories, you got it for life, yeah? For some reason, your brain refuses to forget cringeworthy, embarrassing moments, shameful moments. You can forget the most important information, stuff you really need to know. You can forget all of that, but it remembers every single moment in your life that you've gone, I had one the other day. I remember the time I left a note out for the milkman, and accidentally I put a kiss on it. And I think, why am I thinking of that? Huh? Just it's like some humiliation jukebox to go, let's have a look at this one from 1983. I had one the other day. There was no reason to remember this. I was walking through the park. It was a beautiful sunny day, children are out playing, flowers are out. And I suddenly remember this date I'd been on years ago. We're halfway through it. The girl pointed out that my shirt was buttoned up on the wrong side. So technically, I was wearing a blouse. The thing is, as I remembered it, I was walking past a dwarf. There was a dwarf about there, and I was about there, and I went... And I felt the need to explain to him that it was nothing to do... Like, it wasn't kind of Lord of the Rings, Igor type thing, you know? I was a bit worried, so I said, sorry, mate, I didn't mean you. And he said, what do you want about? I said, when I went... It was nothing to do with Igor or Lord of the Rings. And he said, why would I think that? And now that's become something that makes me go... I tell you, actually, one thing I've worked out, actually, wouldn't necessarily reduce my drinking, but definitely reduce trips to the pub. I think there's a lack of banter in the home, in the domestic environment, you know? Like, sometimes I'll say to my wife something like, how long do you think we could all live if we only ate toffee apples? You know, just putting it out there, you know. And she'll roll her eyes and carry on doing something worthwhile. But in the pub, you get 20 minutes out of that. It's a bloody good question, Sean. You've got the vitamin, you've got the fibre from the apple, you've got the energy, glucose from the toffee. I wonder if the stick pound up into a paste makes a carb. We had a great one the other day. We were talking about what's the filthiest teaspoon you've ever seen. Oh, what a night. We had to have a lock-in. It was brilliant. At what point does a lager top become a shandy? Who would you rather share a sleeping bag with? This we did the other day. Who would you... You've got a choice, right? You've got one night in a sleeping bag. You've got Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones or Jeremy Vine from BBC Radio 2. Ronnie Wood for one, or Jeremy Vine. Any takers on this one? Yeah. Actually, you had a lot better response than the one my wife had. I asked her. She turned her back to me, walked over, looked out of a window, and her shoulders went... And she muttered something about, I suppose we got kids and it's better to... You know. Actually, the right answer, people who said Jeremy Vine, that's the correct answer. You know, a lot of people choose Ronnie. They think Ronnie's a bit of a character, all the anecdotes, you know, a bit of a character. Of course, what they're forgetting is just how bony Ronnie is. Every part of Ronnie is a sharp, jaggedy, pointy edge. His arse is like a piece of flint. Naked, Ronnie looks like a box of KFC when you've thrown the bones back in. He's held together with bits of chicken skin, Ronnie Wood. And he'll be shaking because he's given up the pills and the booze. Ronnie, Yeah, I've thought about this stuff, yeah. Whereas Jeremy Vine, tedious bastard, dull, boring, pointless man, like a warm column of pissy air. But you get the feeling, when he shuts his eyes, 8 hours, straight through, no bother. People say to me, why are you having a go at Jeremy Vine? I say, because I hate him. Seems a good reason, enough. I do. I don't like Jeremy Vine. I'll tell you why. Because, you know, he does that Radio 2 show, and they have these debates on Radio 2. We're going to have debates today, and they're not debates. They're just ways to wind the country up, make the country an unhappier, angrier place, don't they? Yeah. What? I think that sounded like 8th century Norse. It's Jeremy Vine, I've just realised. It's Jeremy Vine. He's dressed up as a sort of drunken old mad cockney. Oh, sneaking. I've heard about this routine. I'll have a couple of super tenants like that. I won't say anything he can pick up on, because, you know... And then he'll just disappear into the fog like Jack the Ripper. Yeah, you know, the debate. You have those debates on the show, and they just make the country an unhappier place. It just winds people up. It attracts nutters to phone in. Like, they'll have a debate. They say, today we're talking about sex education. Some people say it happens too soon. Other people say it doesn't happen soon enough. Are they right? Should we have sex education in nurseries, playgroups? Should teddy bears have genitals? And there'll be someone at home going, what? Teddy bears with cocks? No! They're going to put cocks on the teddy bears! And they phone in. Yeah. And they pick weird subjects to have debate about. Like, they'll pick something like, you know, there was this burglar who'd objected in court to being called a coward. The prosecution called him a coward. He said, I'm not a coward. So they started discussing it, saying, well, is he right? Are burglars brave? Should we admire them? Are they just entrepreneurs? There's people going... And sometimes they do this trick where they leave a detail out to make a little bomb go off in your head. Something like that. Something like, who's to blame for... We're talking about the obesity crisis. Who's to blame? Is it the government? Is it the NHS? Is it the food industry? And they know loads of people at home going, well, he hasn't mentioned the fat people. Yeah. Today we're talking about binge drinking. Why do you do it? Are you sad, lonely, depressed? Do you have low self-esteem? Do you need alcohol to enjoy social situations? And that's how I burnt my ear. I think one of the things that I'm most known for is my inquiring mind. I think that's one of the things people always say about me. Here comes Sean with his inquiring mind.